let's get a look at the metro area and city of Coeur. It is part of the wider metropolitan area of Spokane, which is mainly in Washington and has, well, with the part in Idaho, it has over 700,000 people, but the part itself in Idaho has around 200,000, I think. So it's still, even just the part in Idaho is pretty large, and you can see it's all linked with Spokane, which is in Washington. So it's all just one big metro area. So we can see the city is overall heavily linked with the interstate I-90. It follows it almost perfectly, just on a couple kilometers width around it. So the city of Post Falls is populated by 40,000 people, and we can see that it's mainly made of suburban sprawl, which is pretty recent for most of it. Yeah, pretty average looking around here. And basically there is no city center. You're gonna find, of course, some strip malls around the highway. That's about it. The thing is, with places like this, there isn't too much to say. So yeah, many like kind of what we would call cookie cutter suburbs, like on an urban planning kind of view. Only thing that's separating it from cookie cutter suburbs is that they have some neighborhood parks, which is at least the bare minimum for place. No, maybe not the bare minimum, but it's a step forward, like from a cookie cutter suburb. But like, this is very sad to see, like extremely generic places like this. And really, it's not a problem that you have a few of them, but when it's the whole city that's built like this, it's pretty sad. And it's almost the entire place we've been looking at that was like this, so it's kind of sad. I expect to see a little more around Coeur. We're gonna see a bit later. I'm just gonna look at the north. Maybe more, yeah. Houses with small, don't know what you call it, but places to work with. Here we got a nice lake. Probably more wealthy people living around here. If it can get very expensive here, I don't really think so. And then it's all strip malls and small suburbia sprawl all the way to the city of Coeur that we're gonna see. So let's get a look at the true city of Coeur. I think it was around 60,000 people that lived in the city itself. Got a whole lot of new developments around here. Little park as well. Nice architecture actually. Some greeneries, that's often the problem when you build new developments like this. Lack of greeneries, but here you have some at least. But yeah, still very car centric, lots of parking. It's probably not a viable option in terms of public transit. Let's get a look at the city center. I want to first take a look at this building. It's pretty tall. And we got a nice park around here. A lot of parking in the, well, not in the middle of the park actually. Let's get a street view here inside the park. Nice tennis courts, and yeah, this park is pretty cool. Pretty cool downtown park. Good views of the lake down here and mountains. That is pretty cool, I must admit. It's probably pretty new as well, and they also got basket courts. Seems like they made their whole lakefront park almost. We got a 70s building here, surprising. Yeah, this is also an interesting building. Believe it must be, yeah, a resort, 4-star resorts. Let's get a look at the actual central streets, which must be this one. It's not very dense, unlike what we've seen in the northeast. Yeah, it's mostly 1 or 2 stories, I'd say, that we see here. But at least it's got a lot of shops. Well, maybe not a lot, but some shops. And it looks pretty good, I mean, in good shape. Nothing that is in state of disrepair. And yeah, once we get a couple of meters away from this central street, there isn't much going on anymore. So yeah, there isn't so much going on here. At least they got a cool park, bunch of cool parks. But yeah, not so much going on. Especially considering it's not a small city. There are 200,000 people living in the metro area. Probably most people prefer to go to the street malls, but that's maybe going to change in a couple of years to come. Is this also a neighborhood park? Maybe a cemetery though? Yeah, a cemetery. Let's get a look at the neighborhoods. Okay, homes are looking pretty nice. Yeah, pretty good shape. Lots of trees as well make it really nice and way more peaceful and with plenty of character than the other place we've seen, like the suburbs I mean. Yeah, this is definitely a great place to live. I don't know why we got a random 2007 street view, but yeah, it's not even that the houses look more old. Like I don't think they are so old, those houses. Or at least this could have been made like recently, but the fact that there are a whole lot of trees planted makes it really better. At least it's not very walkable and really not dense enough for a neighborhood close to the city center. Overall, the urban planning here is quite mid, I'd say. Barely anyone is using public transit because it's very bad, or biking or walking to their place of work. And overall, there isn't much diversity in terms of housing. At least the city is pretty free of roads and highways. Like they are quite far outside the city center, and there are many parks, and this is pretty cool. But apart from that, it's pretty bad. So in terms of urban planning, it gets a 5 out of 10. The architecture is of course not very diverse as well, because the city is pretty recent. We can see it very fast gets into recent homes, recent houses in the neighborhoods, but we get a bunch of buildings from the 70s and 80s, as well as some older mansions also near the lakefront. And even the newer houses and buildings look pretty cool, to be honest. So overall I would give the rate of 6 out of 10 in terms of architecture, because at least it seems like they are going into the right direction. So here down the lake seems like we have really the wealthiest people, especially this house is very impressive. Don't know how much that would cost in this place. Maybe like I'd say maybe 4 million, something like this, $4 million. Maybe it's way more, maybe it's way less. I really don't know. Because the view is really magnificent.